because I could have chose these. I could have went with these. I like these.
Oh,
I said, there it is. There it is. Oh, bro, that was a good night.
homie got the ball and he stiff armed, pulsing the Debo to God.
Or they had chicken wings. They had something, but I know this though.
They
It
did
was
have chicken wings. I refuse to go and try
really.
that horse meat on a bone. You a fan? Be a fan. Stay like grown people tell children, stay in a child's place. Stay in a fan's place. Well, the number one player last year made 1.5 million in NIL. I need two. Hold up, before you get to watching this video, let me talk to you for a second. Hit that bell down below and subscribe to the Fitz Take Podcast YouTube channel so you'll know when every episode is dropping or if something has been posted on this page. Also, be sure to follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. Now back to the episode. What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into yet another edition of the Fitz Take Podcast. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. He's your man, Elijah Nixon, aka E-Money, aka the pride of Connecticut, aka the pride of South Carolina, whatever you want to call it, man. We're still on the high from a Louisiana Saturday night, and I'm running off of fumes too from the entire weekend in itself. This is a jam-packed weekend full of sports. It was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I can't even begin to put it all into words. Elijah, can you try to muster up some words to describe it?
Man, now that I slept on it, bro, that was probably like, if not the best, one of the best nights of my life. I mean, I get it. I get it. You're not supposed to be on the other side when you see it, but I was on the other side with Lane Kiffin. I wanted to see him. So I was like, man, I'm going to the other side. You know, me and you together. I got some video of him. Came back the whole ride, though. And you tell people if I'm lying or not, Fitz. I said, bruh, I want to see Shaq. I never seen Shaq, and I want to see Shaq. Justin Jefferson come. Odell Beckham come. And then you like, Shaq on the other side. Shaq's on the other side. When I saw that big monster walking over, bruh.
When I seen him throw that ball.
Hey, bro, you understand, bro? Shaq, bro. Look, Shaq is like somebody I've been waiting to see. I don't know why, but it's just that I just think he's a funny human being. Like, and I just think, like, I just want to see him for the one time. I mean, he's at LSU so much, and I feel like I always miss him. I'll be like out there 1 week, and then next week he'd be at the game that I'm not at the game. So I was like, bro, Shaq gotta be here. And lo and behold, when I saw that man walk across, just two-stepping, just go ahead. I said, there it is. There it is. Oh, that was a good night, bro. I mean, we go into the other stuff too, but we say that for later in the show. But, seeing Shaq. Oh, Odell was pretty cool. Just Jefferson, just seeing Shaq, bro.
You talking about these boys like they B-list celebrities, all pro receivers. You talking about, yeah, Odell, Justin
They
Jefferson.
cool. I really ran to Odell, but Justin was. I'm a fan of Justin, but Justin. I don't really hear him say too much words, and then Odell. Odell's always Odell. But like I said, it's Shaq.
Yeah, well, y'all heard it there first, man. It was lit Saturday there in Death Valley. If you are a subscriber, we appreciate all of y'all that have subscribed. I think we're at 119 as of us recording this episode. If you're not a subscriber and you've tapped in for the first time, go ahead and hit the bell down below. But also while you're subscribing, y'all bear with me because, like I said, I'm running off fumes. While you're subscribing, go down to the description and follow me, Elijah, and my production company on all of our social media platforms because they're linked all down there. So you can just click on it and it'll take you straight there to the app where you can follow us there as well. Yeah, like Elijah said, it was a phenomenal weekend on the sports scene, especially for the state of Louisiana. So with that, let's jump into our first take. Take number one. It's the first play. LSU at home for homecoming, a top 15 matchup. Number 13 LSU facing off with number 9 Ole Miss, the Magnolia Bowl, whatever you want to call it. And the Tigers in Death Valley pick up the upset victory on a game-winning touchdown by Garrett Nussmeier, a one-play shot to Kyron Lacey on a shoulder fade, and he caught it to score the game winner. The second game winner like that in 2 years that the Tigers have done in upsetting fashions, and in the process, causing the fans to also storm the field. So, Elijah, from your perspective, because you were on the field shooting it, I was in the press box. Just tell us what it was like to see this team, the way that they played all throughout the game. Obviously, the defense was a big part of the victory, but seeing some of the things that happened throughout, just talk about that a little bit.
I just think that with how this whole thing went down, I think it was just a complete team win. The defense played lights out from the jump. Um, yeah, they give up big plays. It happens. You know, you give up a couple of big plays, but at the end of the day, they stopped Ole Miss high-powered offense. We didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna speak for anybody else, but I didn't expect that. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect it in a sense because how LSU defense played, to that point. It wasn't the greatest. They, give up points, they give up yards, a lot of yards, and then, they give up a ton of big plays. But last night in Baton Rouge, it was amazing how this defense came out. Twist stunts. They're getting to the quarterback. Guys playing their gaps on defensive line. The linebackers playing on one. 11 hats to the ball when Ole Miss did try to run the ball. But at the same time, what really got me is Ole Miss wanted to take their shots. First down, second down, third down, whenever down they was out there, and LSU stopped it. What I enjoyed the most about all of that is that it gave the offense a chance, and that's what it's about. Given when one side is lacking, the other side has to pick it up. Because I mean, it's very rare we see a complete game. Like what Detroit did to Dallas today, Detroit Lions to the Dallas Cowboys. It's very rare you see a complete game like that where the offense and the defense is clicking all at one time. So that last night with LSU, them clicking, uh, defensively, and then giving their offense one shot where they really had confidence that hey, we can get the ball in the end zone. That showed a lot, and I think Brian Kelly said in a presser that it was a growth game for Garrett Nussmeier, but I think it was a growth game for everyone on that football team because at the end of the day, they showed that hey, maybe they can be a contender of going into the playoff and probably trying to make a deep run. I know this is a fluid opinion because next week they could get smoked and then we'll be like, oh, they suck again. But at the end of the day, right now, it's about how they came together to win a ball game in a top 15 matchup where some of us thought that they may have lose that ball game at home against Ole Miss.
Yeah. Um, like you said, this was an impressive win. But I'm gonna have to say that instead of it mostly being a team win, that this was a win where the defense carried the offense and put them in positions to be able to go out and make the plays like they did. I said it in my TV recap that aired on KETC, and I'll eventually probably post it to my social media platforms. I just hadn't had time to do it. Um, the defense made all the plays that they needed to set up the offense to go out and make the plays that they did. Garrett Nussmeier threw the ball 51 times. He had to do that because of the situations that he was put in, having to go out and air the football out. But it's so many guys off top that I'm looking on the defensive side. Whit Weeks, the linebacker that we talked to, had 18 total tackles. 18 total tackles. 10 of them were solo. A sack, a tackle for loss, two tackles for loss, and a pass breakup. Braden Swinson, defensive end, number 4, which it's crazy that he is playing at this elite of a level because if you could have imagined what this would have been like with him and Harold Perkins on the field clicking at that level, man, what it could have been. We're wishing Perk a speedy recovery, and who's to see what will happen for next season. We wish we could have seen them playing together there in Death Valley like this. Braden Swinson, 8 total tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 pass deflections. And then finally, the pride of Loreville, Louisiana, Zy Alexander at corner, had 5 tackles and some pass breakups. And he played phenomenally in coverage and also had the interception, I believe, there in the third quarter. So when you look at those 3 guys alone, on top of the entire defensive unit, they just played equally on one accord. Don McKinley from Acadiana, shout outs to him getting a fumble recovery in the game as well. A true freshman getting a chance to get some burn in a top 15 matchup. Because the defense put LSU in those positions, I mean, they got 2 fourth down stops early in the game. Because they did that, that's momentum. That builds momentum. That allows the offense to feel it a little bit more and then go out and say, like, all right, our defense is playing good. We got to hold up our end of the bargain. And, once they went into overtime and Ole Miss got the football first, I had a feeling that regardless of what was going to happen, that LSU would come out and win this game. And the defense came out and they gave the offense the opportunity to say, go win it with a touchdown. And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but LSU is a content machine over there with the way that they produce things. So they dropped the mic'd up video, and Kyron was like, "Give me the ball 1-on-1." He called his shot. Garrett dropped back and went back shoulder to that boy, looking like prime Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams, bro. Beautiful, and he scores the touchdown. And man, in that moment, like seeing that, it was almost like deja vu, similar to what it was 2 years ago when Jaden Daniels threw the 2-point conversion to Mason Taylor in the corner of the end zone. I believe that was in the same end zone and in the same corner. Wow, I just realized that. It was the same end zone in the same corner on a different play. Um, LSU picked up that victory, man, and they deserved it because they endured and fought to the very end to be able to get that win. They led at no point, I believe. Let me double check. So y'all won't be coming at me down in the comments or anything. At no point in this game, no, at no point in this game did LSU have a lead until they did. So Ole Miss had the lead the whole time. It was either a tie or Ole Miss had the lead, and then LSU won it in overtime, and that's when they took the lead. Talk about enduring to the very end. That's what you have to do. Um, Big win for LSU down there in Death Valley, and because of that, that boosts them up to number 8 in the AP poll, and I believe in the coaches poll as well. So they are now a top 10 team. And with that, that brings about the topic of field storming, right? So I posted the clip on my Facebook. If you don't follow me there, like I said, it's linked down in the description. That's where I post a lot of my content, right? So after the game is over, I'm posting the social, and it's after LSU won, and this field storming was a little bit different. Me and Elijah talked beforehand. We were driving up, and I was like, "Hey, man, I feel like if they win this game, they might storm the field." When they beat Alabama in overtime, it was immediate. Like Mason Taylor caught the ball, and half the stadium was on the field with him. This time around, fans kind of waited a little bit, and then one or two people jumped the rail, and then 2, 3 more jumped the rail, and then everybody else slowly started to come out on the field. So I posted the clip, and people are in the comments, bro, and they really are like, y'all need to act like we've been here before. We played in a game that we were supposed to win, and we're storming the field. How dare we? And I got some thoughts on that, but Elijah, I'm gonna let you take off with it first. What do you think about field storming? It's particularly in this game, the level of emotion and the way that it ended. Do you agree with fans having the opportunity to go out and storm the field?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those who don't believe, shut it up. Shut it up. At the end of the day, y'all, guys, it's the moment. It's not like they beat South Alabama. Woo! Let's go to field, South Alabama. It's not like they went to go beat Army. Woo! No, this was a top 15 matchup that people had them losing. The
Yeah.
stars were out. They didn't have a lead throughout this game, as you just alluded to. They come and win in a dramatic fashion in the back of the end zone to pull out this ball game to, what I believe, keep their season alive of trying to make a postseason. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. And then being in the middle of it and being in the midst of the storming thing, it wasn't like people were being disrespectful during the storming thing, like where they, the thing that you think is like, oh my gosh, these kids are about to hurt these players because of how they run into them. They didn't do that. Instead, they're like, woo, they Kyra Lacy, yeah. yeah, that's mine, yeah, giving people. They, and the crazy thing is, they giving each other hugs, not the fans hugging the players. The fans are hugging the fans out there, and I
Yeah.
thought that was like that was their way of saying, yo, this was appreciation for them, and that's what I enjoyed about the whole thing. It's not the storming thing is not is separate because the storming thing, yeah, I think that's being in a moment. But what I also actually enjoyed was they wasn't trying to go out there and do something to any of these star players. They was happy for them, legit, and they was happy for themselves, like they played in the game. Little thing to it after, like when the whole chaos was happening, as I'm walking back, there's fans hitting me on the shoulder saying, "Good job, cameraman!" Like I was a part of this game. Cameraman, you know that. Like, I'm looking at it like, what's going? They're just having a good time. There wasn't nothing. This was not a bad thing at all. They're just living in the moment, having a good time, cheering for their team. That actually just pulled out an upset that nobody thought they could, and as in the Louisiana State saying, on a Saturday in Baton Rouge, like a Saturday night in Baton Rouge. Like they'll tell you there is no place to be. In the state, they will tell you there is no place to be in Baton Rouge on a Saturday night when it's football season. Now, I'm not saying that against any other football team that's in there, but that's their saying. And so they really lived by that. They believed it. The game was sold out. Um, why not, man? You're just living in the moment. I enjoyed it. I mean, you think it was a scary moment because you're in the middle of it, but once you're actually in the middle of it, it's not what you think. So for the guys that's overreacting, saying you need to have better class and things like that, it's okay. I mean, it's $250,000 they got to pay to fine. LSU got it. LSU got it. They not sweating. They not. It's not like they're breaking the bank for it. Like they got the money to pay that off. So relax, relax. Let those kids have their fun. And just we get ready for whenever it happens again. Which if they be Alabama, I think it will happen again. So get that 250 ready again if that happens.
102,000, 212, I think was the total attendance. Um, and it was homecoming. So I'm sure just as much as it is any Saturday, alcohol was heavily involved on that Saturday night. I'm almost certain. Um, when I look at the situation, when I look at the way the game unfolded and the way that the game ended, it's an emotional roller coaster. Like when you think about what a fan is, the root word or the abbreviated version of fan, it abbreviates from the word fanatic, which means like you are crazy about whatever it is that you enjoy. If you are a fanatic of LSU, that means that like you live, breathe, eat, sleep LSU. And being around not just LSU fans, but a lot of fans in the state of Louisiana, whether that's Raging Cajun fans, Saints fans, all these things like that, they are diehards behind the teams that they love. And so, because of the way that the moment was going, I said, driving in, I was telling Elijah, if they beat Ole Miss, I think they're going to storm the field. Not just because of the fact that we beat Ole Miss, but last year it was an emotional loss, and now this year it was an emotional win. And the way that they did it, it was like, oh my God, he just threw a touchdown on the first play. And so the initial thought of it was shock. Like, oh my God, we just won this game. Let's go out and party and celebrate like we do in Louisiana. Um, you know, we hear about, act like you've been here before. Bruh, as a person that's been a part of big wins and all this stuff like that, that's what coaches tell the players. That's what Brian Kelly probably was telling his players after some of the hype went down. Guys, we've been here before. These are the type of games that we're supposed to win. That's coach speak. You a fan. Be a fan. Stay like they like grown people tell children, stay in a child's place, stay in a fan's place. Be a fan. You feel me? Run out and storm the field. It's okay. You ain't hurt. Look, as long as you ain't knocking over people's cameras. I do want to point that out. Nobody did this, but I do want to point out because I was getting ready to shoot a stand up at one point, and a brother was trying to walk in front of me, and I took my forearm and put it in his chest and said, "Bro, I know you see me about to go live on TV. Okay, that's my only gripe. When you see reporters and stuff, it's cool to get in behind them and Have fun. We actually like that in our live shots, but like, don't disturb what we're doing. If you see I'm trying to set my light up, don't be like, hey, I got you. Get back. Because if this equipment break, I ain't gonna be able to tell my boss, oh, I was at the LSU game and a fan was trying to help me and it fell. Because they're not gonna say, oh, that's cool. They're gonna take it out my check, brother. I ain't got that type of money. All right. Okay. Um, but fans, y'all do what you do, man. Storm the field as many times as you want to, because you're a fan. Like, regardless of what you feel about it as a person's opinion of, we were supposed to win this game, and this is the type of program, this is the standard, and all that stuff. Bro, a win is a win, and an emotional win like that is gonna draw about emotion, right? And as a fan, if you just the same way as if he'd have threw that pass and the cornerback would have intercepted it, people probably would have been out there crying. The same amount of emotion, right? So why can't they have that same level of joy when he throws the game-winning touchdown and decides to go out and celebrate? And like Elijah said, wasn't nobody out there clowning for real. They wasn't out there trying to punch Kyron Lacey in the face or nothing like that. Bro, folks was legitimately just hugging on each. A dude came up to me after I did my live hit and said, "Man, I don't know you, but I love you. You out there?" He said, "You out there at KTC Lafayette, man. You putting on. I love you, man. I don't know what your name is. I think I recorded it somewhere. I love it, man. I don't know your name or nothing." Look, again, alcohol was probably heavily involved in that conversation, but people was just out there having a good time, bro. So, and like Elijah said, unless you get the bread, they gonna break that little 250 off, and I think I read somewhere that like the money is supposed to go to Ole Miss, whoever it is, like the violating team that you do it against, it goes to them. It's like, who cares? Millionaires to millionaires, tomato, whatever. They all got money. All these P4s got money. So what's a $250,000 check? Gordon McKernan gonna cut that check. He probably done already cut it and mailed it over to the SEC. Whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Okay. Let fans be fans. Let them enjoy themselves. Live in the moment. And if you don't like it, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Don't watch the game. I don't know.
Right.
Shoot. Don't watch the game.
That makes no
Uh,
sense. People can't enjoy themselves. That's ridiculous. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. I mean, that's what you're out there for anyway. Them boys was out there cooking since what 9 in the morning. Doing
Probably before
something.
that.
Probably before that. Win, lose, or draw, they enjoying their time off. It's just that they won in the fashion that they won in. The emotions was high. Nobody got hurt. It
Nobody got
was,
hurt.
it was just them having fun. That's it.
It was a great night. It was a great night. Obviously, there are things that you're going to want to clean up. You obviously probably don't want Garrett Nussmeier throwing the ball 51 times. Um, you probably want your run game to pop a little bit more in certain scenarios, because if I'm looking back at it correctly, LSU only rushed for 84 yards. And Garrett Nussmeier had the most per carry average on 2 carries for 16 yards. Everybody else was 3 yards a pop. So you couldn't run the football. So Garrett had to throw it 51 times. And when you throw the ball that many times, you're bound to make a mistake. And so he had 2 interceptions in the contest. But when you look at guys like Kyron Lacey, Aaron Anderson coming up big, Mason Taylor, my God, that kid is most definitely going to get drafted. I don't know if, he'll get a first round look. If he comes out this year, he might end up being like a second or third round, I would say, depending on how LSU's season ends. That could push him into the first, because like in the 2019 season, like a lot of those guys, um, like were pushed forward because they were a part of that team, were drafted because they were a part of that team. Um, so who knows, man? But like, guys stepped up. Trey Green, another tight end, had a touchdown in the game. Guys stepped up when they needed to, and then like they did it on a night where you were down Chris Hilton, you were down C.J. Daniels, um, Sheldon Sampson didn't get very much burn, and Kyron went down at one point in the game, and bro, I thought he was. He said he hyperextended his knee, bro. I thought he tore his ACL the way he was grabbing his knee.
Mm.
You know, um, But after he went down, he came right back in, finished the game, and obviously catches the game-winning touchdown. So LSU comes up with a big victory in Death Valley, beating Ole Miss 29-26 to advance to 5-1 on the year. They are now number 8 in the AP polling. They will continue SEC play next Saturday as they will travel into Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, who are 4-2 on the year. That have a head coach in Sam Pittman that has been on the hot seat since the beginning of the year. That'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff on ESPN. That'll be the 6 o'clock game. Um, yeah, that should be a fun one. Currently, LSU is favored by 2.5 points. So with that, let's make some forward progress and go into take number 2, and let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. Uh, we talked about it in the beginning of the show, and I mentioned how tired I was. That was because after being in Death Valley until 1 o'clock, me and Elijah made the trek back to Lafayette. We got back to the station at 2. I finished up my story that aired Sunday, and I think I left the station a little after 3 o'clock. Came home, crashed for about 2 hours or so, and I popped right back up and I drove. Me and my wife together. She drove on the way up, and then I drove back to New Orleans for the Saints and Buccaneers games because her sister, my sister-in-law, um, was a recipient of some free tickets some kind of way. I don't know how she got them, but they were legit. She wasn't able to go, so she said, "Y'all go." I said, "I bet." Like initially, I was like, "I don't know, man. I might be cooked a little bit," but then I seen where them tickets was sitting at, and I said, "Yeah, I think if I got to bring a sleeping bag in there, I'm gonna figure it out." So the vibes were phenomenal, and I'm gonna actually put a card somewhere in the video up here where you can watch the vlog that I'll be dropping at some point, or I'll at least add my Kicking It with Fitz YouTube channel. You can watch that vlog whenever I drop it later this week. Sitting there, enjoying the game, man. And Spencer Rattler gets his first start of his rookie season of his career, his NFL career. And things look good in the first half. They have been in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. But that second half was really bad as the Saints fall to the Buccaneers 51-27. With that loss, the Saints are now 2-4 on the season and have lost 4 straight games. And now sitting in front of them is a short week as they will be right back in the Superdome on Thursday when their old head coach, the old flame, Sean Payton, comes back to the Superdome as the head coach of the Denver Broncos, and will be playing on Thursday night on Amazon Prime. Elijah, looking at this loss of how deflating that could be, the way that it was. Dennis Allen said in post that tackling was atrocious. Um, how stifling, how disruptive can a loss like this be for the morale of a team, and the way that they lost, and then having to turn around and try to figure it out and pick up the pieces on such a short week.
Um, it's bad, but it's not bad in the sense of that they're not trying. It's bad in the sense of injuries. Taysom Hill goes down, Chris Olave goes down, and Spencer Riley doesn't have a security blanket. And the run game doesn't is not effective today. When a rookie comes in, you do the run game and you need defense. You had defense in the first half, but you had no defense in the second half. You didn't have a run game for 4 quarters. So Spencer, put a lot on. They put a lot on Spencer for his rookie game, and I get it. A lot of people probably upset and saying Spencer's not the answer. He went out there. He made rookie mistakes. Key word: he's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes. The interception he threw that when he was aiming for Shaheed, I thought it was a great play call, just underthrown, and Tampa made a better play getting the interception on that one. You gotta just you gotta take your licks where you can. I mean, I know for Saints fans, you feel like you have the roster to be where you want to be at the end of the year, which is hopefully playing in your dome in February. But you have to look at the harsh reality of it as well. It's injuries. Like injuries are what can hold you guys back. Um, Carr hurt, Taysom hurt. Those are two key factors that was making your offense go in the first couple of games. Now that you're on a 4 game skid, you have to look for something else. With Chris Olave gone now, you got to ask yourself, do we make a real push at Devontae Adams? Because you need a, if you really want to go, you need a receiver. You don't have a receiver, and there's no offense to Shaheed, but Shaheed is a deep threat guy. Route tree isn't the best, but if you got somebody like Devontae Adams who has a good route tree, and Chris Olave before he goes down, who I thought had a pretty decent route tree as well, it would be different. But with that being said, take your time with Spencer. I'm not saying Spencer is your answer for the whole thing, but I think that he showed some things today that could make you look at it and say, hey, he can be our guy for the near future, for the foreseeable future. Because he did play pretty well in the first half after, the Saints go down 14-0. He played well to come back and take the lead. And it wasn't just Spencer, because I believe football's a team sport, but defense takes a toll in it too. So when defense went down, that's when everything became started spiraling for the Saints. So you got a tough game on Thursday to come back from against the Broncos. We'll see what happens. But again, Spencer needs a receiver for me to completely say I want to judge him. I can't judge him off of this loss today.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. In the first half, the defense had 3 turnovers. They picked off Baker Mayfield 3 times. I was looking at a stat. Somebody put it out there. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was like the Saints are the first team since like 1950 to have 3 interceptions and lose by 20 plus points and give up 50 points in a game. Like historically bad loss, right? When you look at it from a defensive perspective, like Dennis Allen said, they were missing a lot of tackles. He said tackling was atrocious, and I was there. Them boys was missing a lot of tackles. It was at one point, I don't remember what running back it was. Homie got the ball and he stiff armed Paulson Adebo to God. My bruh, he he was like, I'm like, yo, you straight, bruh? Like, tried to knock his head off, missing tackles like crazy. You feel me? And you can't have that. I've heard people say it before that are, more defensive minded players. They're like to want to tackle somebody, to physically want to have to like catch someone at full speed and drive them backwards. You have to want to do that. You have to want to tackle somebody. Um, and today, them boys did not want to tackle. Plain and simple. And the stats and the game trend speak for themselves. Sean Tucker had 136 yards rushing on 14 carries. That's 9 yards, almost 10 yards a pop. Bucky Irvin, I don't even know who that is, had 14 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers rushed for 277 yards on the ground. Baker Mayfield, after throwing 3 interceptions, threw for 325 yards and 4 touchdowns. And was only sacked 1 time.
Mhm.
So, Saints defense, this is your moment. That, like Michael Jackson said, it's got to start with the man in the mirror. You got to figure out how bad do you want it. Your team is 2-4 right now. If you lose on Thursday, you're 2-5, and you are all but saying, let's hang this season up and figure it out next year. You're all but saying that. Because it's going to your route now. You're starting. You're depending on other people to lose. You're hoping somebody goes on a losing streak to possibly slip in and get in a wild card. And like, I understand that all you need is the shot to get in, but like, you right now you're not playing championship quality football. Plain and simple. This team has a lot of talent on it, but because of, like you said, with injuries, Taysom Hill being out, Cesar Ruiz still being out, Eric McCoy still being out, and now Chris Olave, with him being out with a concussion, he is not playing Thursday. I fully believe that brother is not playing against the Denver Broncos on Thursday after having a scrambled brain on Sunday. It's just not happening. So your receivers that you have available, I'll tell you who they are because they had a few catches. Bub Means, Cedric Wilson Jr. This is no offense to any of these brothers. Mason Tipton. Is that London Tipton's brother? Um, I don't know any of these guys. And of course, this is an opportunity for them to step up and try to make a name for themselves here in the NFL. But when you have guys that don't have a whole lot of big time playing experience, and you have a quarterback that had his first career start come into the game, and then I got the push alert coming from Bleacher Report, the report from Jay Glazer saying that Derek Carr is going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So in that time, you got about 4 games in that time period that you got to figure out. If you go 0-4 in that time period, your season is over. So you're going to have to figure something out. I don't know what it is, but good teams find a way to win. Like we talked about when what was it, the Chiefs that they played last week?
Mm-hmm.
And they were down players. Rasheed Rice is out for the foreseeable future and blah, 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 blah. And they don't have this, and they won the game. Good teams find a way to win. So, Saints, Dennis Allen, Clint Kubiak, all y'all boys, you got to figure out a way to pull out the victory. Bottom line, plain and simple. And you got to do it against your ex. So you know you got to flex on him. You know you got to stand up and flex on him. Uh, so we shall see. The Saints have a historically bad loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 51-27 was the losing factor as the Saints gave up, good God Almighty, 594 total yards to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's almost 600 yards, bro. That's crazy. That's 8 yards a play. That means they almost got a first down every play that they were in out of them 72 total plays. That's demoralizing. My God. And they were 6 of 10 on third down. Tampa Bay dominated this game, especially in the second half. The Saints have to figure it out. They have a chance to do that on a short week as they will welcome the Broncos into New Orleans. The Broncos are 3-3. They also have a rookie quarterback playing in Bo Nix as a starter. So that should be very interesting. Currently, the Saints are a 1-point favorite. That could probably change by the time that we are done taping this episode. So right now, as of 9:38 p.m. on Sunday, October 13th, the New Orleans Saints are a 1-point favorite. I guarantee that they will probably not be that by the time this episode airs on Monday, October 14th at 2 o'clock. So we shall see. Saints got to get it figured out, man. Let's move forward into take number 3, and let's go back into some college football. The matchup between the Alabama Crimson Tide and South Carolina. I really felt like that whole day, the ABC games, the KATC games, shameless plug, were really, really good. You had the South Carolina Alabama game, you had the Red River rivalry, and then you had LSU Ole Miss to close out the night. But to open the day, Alabama escapes another upset and another scare by beating South Carolina 27-25. I watched a decent portion of this game. Elijah, I know you said you kind of dabbled in it. I'll let you have the floor first. Is this Alabama team, you know, as quality enough to really try to squeeze their way into the playoffs? I know South Carolina is a good defensive team. They have a great defensive front. Obviously, we saw that when they played against LSU and they gave them problems. Is this just a sign of you got to tip your cap to a really good South Carolina team, or is there trouble in paradise there in Alabama?
There's gonna be some trouble, some trouble, some trouble, bro. Alabama's in trouble, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. We forget early in the season they struggled against South Florida because they
Yep.
came out in the second half and beat them. We're not gonna say that we overlooked that game against Georgia, where we talked about if they took the foot off the pedal or Georgia turned up another notch in the second half, which I believe Georgia turned up another second notch in another half in the second half. We're not going to ignore the fact that they lost to Vanderbilt. Now, forgive me, Vanderbilt gave Kentucky a game, but it's Vanderbilt. Alabama, Vanderbilt. A big difference. Then they struggle against South Carolina. South Carolina is a pretty decent team. Pretty decent team. Do I think they're one of the best in the SEC? No. Do I think they're mid tier in the SEC? Absolutely. So now I think what the true colors is showing that Alabama is not as talented as it was in the past, as they were in the past, because Alabama looked strong at some points, but they look bad at some point. Back in the day with Alabama, they looked strong for 4 quarters. This Alabama team, they look good for 5 minutes in the first quarter, bad for 8 minutes in the second quarter, good for 10 minutes in the third quarter, and then bad for the last whatever minutes in the fourth. Like that, it's and I get it. You will say a win is a win, but a win is a win till you're not winning anymore. And then when you play those big teams, next week you got Tennessee, right? And then you got LSU. I think Alabama could mess around and not make the college football playoff.
Mm.
I may be going on a limb here, but I think that they could mess around and not go. If they don't beat Tennessee next week and they don't beat LSU the following week, bye
No, no,
bye.
no, no. No, they got Tennessee. Then they got Missouri and that boy Luther Burden and Brady Cook. Then they got LSU. They in a gauntlet right now, bro.
So that's
They
three.
really, bro. They really finna beat, bro. The last from Georgia down, they've been in a blender. Georgia, they lose to Vandy. They almost lose to South Carolina. They got a top 15 matchup in at Tennessee.
I need
At Tennessee, and then you come back home against Missouri, who's 5-1, who of course they got shellacked by Texas Tech, Texas A&M, excuse me, and then you go back on the road to Death Valley to face LSU. Then you get a little layoff with Mercer, and you close out the year with Oklahoma and Auburn. So they are in a blender right now, and
uh-huh.
pressure buffs makes diamonds or it busts pipes, bro. So we're gonna see if this is a diamond in the rough, or we're gonna see if this team will fold under pressure. Jalen Milroe has still played extremely well. That can't go unnoticed. Ryan Williams has still played extremely well, as we've seen. That freshman is so talented in what he does. But they've got to figure it out. They've got to for sure figure it out because South Carolina, um, they put some stuff out there on tape that teams are going to come right out and try to exploit right away. It's very similar to after the Cajuns played against Tulane, and the Green Wave rushed for like 200 and some yards, and Coach Dez was saying like that's on tape now. Teams are going to come out and try to run the football against us. That's true. If a team feels like that they can get pressure on you with a TT twist or a TE twist or ET twist, or they can bring an edge guy, or they can walk somebody down, they can disguise a blitz, they're going to come out and do it. Whatever it is that South Carolina did, whatever it is that Vanderbilt did, teams are going to start mimicking that. Now, of course, Tennessee does what they do. And then, not to mention, these three games they're playing against all high-powered offenses, all of them. Tennessee, the run and shoot. Missouri with Brady Cook and Luther Burden. LSU, we just talked about what them boys are, even though they had an off night against Ole Miss. We know what them boys are. And if they healthy going into that game, we know what them boys are. Man, you got to get it fixed, Caleb DeBoer. You might need to have a come to Jesus meeting with Nick Saban and figure out, hey man, uh, I know you coached in some tough series of games. What I need to do here, because your next three games, bro, you got to play teams with the same record as you, 5-1. These are pivotal games because, like I said, if you beat Tennessee, you knock them out of the top 15. If you beat Missouri, you probably closely knocked them out of the top 25. If you beat LSU, you knocked them out of the top 10. But if you lose, you might fall down into them lower teams, bro, and that can mess you up. And then if you lose another one, that's a wrap. Three losses, you're not getting in. Two losses, you gotta pray to the football gods that you can squeeze your way in there, or somebody else loses. That's the only way because there's no SEC East and West anymore. It's the best two teams with the best conference record, and right now you got one. You're not getting to the SEC championship game with two conference losses, so you got to see what you're made of. Might be like you said, like Dollar Bill. Said in Players Club, man, it might be some trouble. Might be some trouble. We shall see what the Crimson Tide are able to do when they go to Neyland Stadium for the 2:30 kick in a highly anticipated matchup next Saturday. That game will be on KTC. So let's stay here and take number three. We're gonna pivot over to something a little bit different. Major streamer, content creator, social media savant, whatever you want to call him, Kai Cenat, taking the world by storm with the way he's done his streams. I think I saw as we were getting ready to record that he was on stream with John Cena. Like, brother is taking over the world with streaming. Um, but he's gotten so big to the point now he's corporate, right? He has a chicken Big Mac. They have released it in his honor, and he was had his own commercial. We would play it, but we don't want to get flagged for copyright, so we're not gonna do that. Kai Cenat coming up big time. Um, I have not tried it. I don't think that I necessarily want to, because it's really probably just a hot and spicy on three pieces of bread with a bunch of lettuce and mac sauce. So I think I know what that probably tastes like. In fact, I do know what that tastes like because I've had a hot and spicy with mac sauce on it. So that answers my question. I don't think I'm gonna end up trying that. But uh, Elijah, what does that kind of say about the way that things are changing in terms of the culture of like celebrities can be like really regular dudes and they come up and get a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention on them, and the next thing they know, they're in a McDonald's commercial. Like, how is the world changing, bro?
We're changing the internet. The internet changed a lot of people. I'm just talking about this today. You get a little fame, and then after that, the world is yours. Kai Cenat doing Big Chicken Mac commercials. Endorsements by McDonald's. Usually, when growing up, the only people that we saw getting endorsed by McDonald's was athletes. Now you got guys that just do streaming, Twitch and stuff, and they're doing it. I'm not sure if it's the cheaper route for major corporations, or I'm not sure if it's uh, if somebody just talks about it on their streaming thing and they get like a deal out of it. I'm not sure how it happens, but all I'm gonna say is that I don't think that this is nothing innovative. It's not nothing new. I'll be honest with you. It's just a McChicken, like you said earlier, with bread, with extra breading. I mean, it's like it's just a recycled thing. I seen another one they're doing. McDonald's is selling quarter pounder meat inside the Big Macs. I thought the Big Mac and the quarter pounder was the same thing. Now there's a difference. Like what are we talking about? So everything is just recycling. It's just a different way to put it out there. Instead of using the athletes, you use podcasters or people that's famous on social media. Recycle, like we talked about the other day in the office. Um, there's the style of fashion. Uh, the bell bottoms came back. The
It
same
did.
ordeal. It's the same ordeal. It's just using different faces to promote what they had going on back in the day. Now, when Taco Bell start bringing back pizza, I will be shocked. I would not try it, but at the same time, I will understand because they're bringing back something new, and I know people wanna. Didn't they have a Mexican pizza? Didn't they bring that back?
Uh, God, I don't know, bro. I hadn't eaten Taco Bell in so long, like college years, man. I don't think I want to do that to my stomach anymore. It's been a
Man, think
while.
about that. Didn't they bring back? Or they had chicken wings? They had something, but I know this though.
They
It
did
wasn't
have chicken wings. I refuse to go and try
really.
that horse meat on a bone. I'm not doing it. It's not happening.
I thought about it, but I ain't do it. I ain't do
You're crazy for
it.
even
Hey,
thinking
if
about that.
Popeye started selling tacos, would you try it?
No, because what Cat Williams say? You sell chicken. No, he said no, Taco Bell. No,
Hey, I
I'm
ain't
not
gonna
doing
lie,
that.
bro. I would think about it because it ain't nothing but a chicken taco. It's nothing but a chicken taco.
What?
It's just a chicken taco. Just a chicken taco. You just
Oh, you saying like a chicken strip laid in a shell?
yeah.
That's what you're saying?
That's all it is.
No, I don't want that.
For
I come
Popeye.
to Popeyes for tenders and wings and breast and thighs. I don't come there for no burrito shells. If I want that, I'm gonna go down the street to Pedro's or El Paso, okay, or Superior. I come here for you sell chicken. That's it, okay. McDonald's, Sonic, and all them are anomalies because you got your burgers, you got your chicken nuggets. Those are different. But if the food group is listed in the title of the name of your brand, Taco Bell, you sell Mexican tacos. You sell tacos. I look. Now I ain't gonna lie, them nacho fries. It's the slight. That's the only exception. That was the only when they brought them out,
Exactly.
and you put that hamburger meat on there and a little cheap. That's the only exception. But for the most part, you sell tacos. Okay. Love that chicken from Popeyes. You sell chicken. Stick with your chicken and the biscuits. Okay. Don't stray away from the formula. Do what works. Okay.
I
Keep
mean,
it simple, stupid. The
I'm
KISS
not
method.
saying,
Keep it simple.
I'm not saying get rid of the 8 piece. I'm just saying if they say, hey, you know what? We're gonna give you a chicken taco with our blackened ranch.
You talking
Come
about
on,
the blackened chicken tender?
yeah, on the tortilla. I mean, it's not like they making a tortilla in the house. They probably getting it from Walmart, and then you just put a little, you put the blackened ranch on it, a little bit of rice.
Where you gonna get the rice from? You gonna put red beans on it?
I ain't say the red beans though.
Where you gonna get the rice from?
They don't make it separate.
What you mean?
The red beans and rice come together at Popeyes.
God, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but
I thought they making a separate. They don't make it in separate pots.
I, I don't know. I have no clue.
Let me
But I
back.
tell you what, I tell you what, I can do that at my own house. I can just buy some blackened tenders and then go to Super One, Walmart, or Rouse's, give me some tortillas, put them on the little griddle and toast them real good, put a little cheese and then blackened ranch. I can do that at the house. Popeyes, don't you start none of this mess. Okay? Too far. Kai Cenat, I'm happy for you, brother. You got your sandwich, you got your commercial. That's a big deal. And shameless plug, I'm here to say that as current content creators slash streamers slash whatever we doing here, if you would like to sponsor the Fitz Take podcast,
Right.
we're taking callers and takers. Step right up. But Popeyes, do not stray away from what works. Stay with the formula. Stay in line. Don't because you said Taco Bell came out with the chicken wings. Are they still on the menu?
No, no, that's good.
Exactly. Don't stray away from the formula.
That's different.
Do what works. There you go.
That's different. That's
Man,
different.
you finna make me mad, bro. You finna make me mad.
Taco Bell,
No, it's not.
Taco Bell, Taco Bell selling chicken wings is different than Popeyes doing a chicken taco. They have chicken, but Taco Bell chicken isn't fried chicken. Taco Bell chicken is that grilled in the bag chicken that they already have pre-made. They're not like fried and seasoned to perfection like Popeye. Popeyes is fried and seasoned to. It's already in a chicken tender. Let's go ahead and wrap that thing up. So black and ranch. I don't know if they got lettuce. I had never seen anything green out of Popeyes. I don't know if they sell green beans, broccoli, lettuce. I don't know if they sell any of that stuff. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying for the people. Man, you make a poll about it. Make a poll about it. If Popeyes did a chicken taco, because if Cane's could put chicken strips between bread, Popeyes do the same thing.
They already sell that though. They sell that bread. They sell that. That's a part of their menu. What you talking about is some. Never mind. I'm not. Y'all comment down below if y'all would buy that chicken taco that Elijah is saying that if Popeyes released it, would you buy it? We're gonna see how many people agree with this. My answer is no, because I'm drawing the line in the dirt. No Popeyes. This is where you stop. Sell chicken only. Chicken and biscuits. That's what you sell. Don't you start adding tortilla shells and chips and salsa in there. We don't need that. All right. Stick with what you know. Congrats to Kai Cenat, though. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's go into our final take, the Fitz take. It's a take that is very familiar to the show. Something that I would like to say that I feel like I brought up originally. And I said that this would eventually happen as future recruits will now sign agreements that include how much money they are expected to earn at the schools on signing day. National Signing Day is dead, as the NCAA Division One committee eliminated the national letter of intent last Wednesday, leaving questions about the future of National Signing Day and the college football recruiting calendar. In reality, not much about the tradition of National Signing Day or the recruiting process is changing. Instead of recruits signing a national letter of intent as a binding agreement, they will sign a financial aid and revenue share document. It's the next step in the evolution of college athletics, as the House versus NCAA settlement is expected to begin July 2025, allowing schools to share up to $22 million in revenue with athletes annually. Recruits will have on paper what they are expected to earn before signing with a school in the years to come. Now, I could have swore that a couple weeks ago, not too long ago, I said that these national letters of intent, NLIs, were going to go away because they really mean nothing now. Players need to know what they're making. That's why that boy at with Matthew Sluka at UNLV, that's why that boy redshirted and sat down because he said I was supposed to be making this and they didn't give him that. So he said, I don't like that. I'm leaving. That's not going to happen no more. And I said, these boys finna start having to sign real contracts, which is gonna bring about more agents. It's gonna bring about more lawyers. If you are a lawyer right now, if you are a sports agent right now, it's your time to shine. Because these young cats, they're gonna be put in situations where they're gonna be signing papers, and now they need to know. They need to know what some of this legal verbiage is saying. They need to understand what it is. So you're gonna have some people. I think I saw somewhere that Kendrick Perkins is starting some kind of collective where he will give players upfront money in exchange for a portion of their NIL on the backside. And people are talking about how he's, essentially taking advantage of players and, all that stuff like that. That's going to start happening a lot more. He's just the first one to do it. That's going to start happening a lot more. People are going to start loaning wads of money up front, and they're going to start making sure that these athletes uh, have the backing that they need, have the financial literacy that they need, and understand what they're going to be signing as they go into National Signing Day. This is going to be more of a business decision now more than ever. Collegiate sports, being an amateur sport, is gone. Forget about it. From the time you graduate your senior year, you are a professional athlete until you stop playing ball, whether that's from 18 to 19 or 18 to 38. You are a professional athlete from there on out. And so, with that in mind, I want to say to the young players out there, juniors, rising juniors, seniors, all of that stuff, you're going to be flashed a lot of dollar signs. You're going to be given a lot of opportunities with money. Don't take the first thing that comes out there. Make sure that you're taken care of first. Make sure that you get your money, you get what you're worth. If you are the number one player in the country, you need to know what that market value is. What did the number one player your previous year make? That's going to start happening. It's going to be player markets because they're going to say, well, the number one player last year made 1.5 million in NIL. I need two. And then the next year he's gonna say he made two, I need 2.5. And the next year he said he made 2.5, I need three. That's gonna start happening. But I'm encouraging them players, know your worth. That's number one. And then wherever you go, stand on business. If they start trying to play with your money, hit the portal. Get out of there. If they start saying, oh, well, you're going to come over here and you're going to start and blah, 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 and all this stuff like that, and they don't start doing it, get out of there. Because you don't want to be in no culture where they just trying to get you over here for the bread and they not giving you an opportunity to win. Because like I said, you are a professional athlete from the time you leave high school until you stop playing. So there's no longer any time of saying, I got to get a chance to figure this out. You got to almost come in as a freshman and have a little bit of knowledge about what's going on in the game, the financial side, the business aspect. You need to have your head on a little bit straight. Know your worth, get your money. Don't let them people mess up. You stand on business. Those are the things that you need to do. Elijah, take off.
Man, look, you already said what you had to say. All I could do is concur, but I'm just gonna throw on the for sure you right ons because you said this was gonna happen weeks ago. I said that Spencer Rattler was going to be the starter in week 5. So you know what they say about the Fitz podcast? Let me throw my for sure you right ons. Let me throw my for sure you right ons. You know what they say about the Fitz podcast? We know what we talking about. We know what we talking about.
Bro, them Kara shades.
Yeah, these carry shades. I left my other shades in the car. The only shades I haven't worn. But thank God that she has a bucket over here that I could choose from because I could have chose these or I could have went with these. But I like these.
Oh, now put them white ones back on, bro.
I could, I could throw my for sure you right ons with this one, but I might go with this one. But that means we know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't even need. I believe whatever you said because what you said about these guys going to sign deals. Kendrick Perkins going to, is the first of many to upfront money, so you can get money on the back end from the NIL deals. There's a reason why ESPN, NBC, Fox is getting all buying all these programs with college and hosting them on their stuff because they know the money's about to come and they know these players are about to do this and the school's gonna need money and resources and also more exposure to give these players some money. So at the end of the day, I mean, it was gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But when you just tune in to Fitz tape, you know what I'm saying? Just know that we know what we're doing here. We know what we talk about. We could predict the future a little bit, just a tad bit. Not too much, just a little bit. If I told you to win the lottery, the numbers we will all win $1 because nobody could. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could just. Somebody got to win the big pot. We all just win $1. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. For sure you're right on. Elijah Nixon has said it. So with that, guys, not much more needs to be said. We thank y'all for tuning in to yet another episode of the Fitz Take Podcast. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to hit the bell down below and subscribe to the channel. If you are a subscriber already, we appreciate you. Go ahead and also follow us down in the description. Me, Elijah, and my production company, they're all linked down in the description on our social media platforms. You'll be able to see what we got going. Next week will be another big week of college football and seeing what happens all around the place, and we'll see. Bro, I just realized we didn't even mention UL. Shout out to UL beating App State. We ain't forget about y'all boys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we wore out. We tired, but we was watching, and I talked about it in my package on TV that aired. Shout out to UL for beating App State 34-24. Congratulations to them moving 2-0 in Sunbelt play as well. And we'll see if we can try to do something in the midweek. Maybe see if we can get somebody on. I'll see what kind of strings we can pull to see who we can get to hop on stream with us maybe in the midweek. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, signing out for Elijah Nixon. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. We appreciate you for watching Fitz Take. We will see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching this clip of the Fitz Take Podcast. Be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. And remember, every episode of the Fitz Take Podcast will air right here on the YouTube channel every Monday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.